You know, there's something almost magical about ice fishing. The peacefulness of the snow-covered landscape, the camaraderie of good friends, and the electric buzz you feel inside when you're about to reel in a catch. Before we set out across the ice, we've got to talk gear, specifically rods. Now, you wouldn't grab a sledgehammer to crack a nut, right? Well, choosing an ice fishing rod is kind of like that. You need the right tool for the job, or in this case, the right rod for the fish. Whether it's a feisty walleye that's playing hard to get, or a hefty pike putting up a fight fit for the record books, I've got some hot tips to help you find your perfect match in the rod department. So pull up the chair, get comfy, and let's have a real talk about rods. Because by the time you hit the ice, I want you to be as ready as the early bird that catches, well, you know, the fish.
Give us the highlights.
What is going on?
Oh yeah.
Oh
No! Got it? You got it? No way!
All right, folks. So you're going to pick up your first ice rod. What do you want to get? Well, I'll break it down from medium light to medium heavy. Those are the types of rods I like to use, and I'll kind of go through the species that I like to chase while I'm using these rods. So lately, my MO beginning of the season when I get into ice fishing is going to be trout. Panfish come mid-season, but these rods will also work for that. So your ultralights to medium lights are going to be for your panfish and trout. One of my favorite rods that I've been using a lot is this one right here. This is a Shimano Convergence. It's a 32-inch medium light action, and it's got a very soft tip on the end of it. So the nice thing about this one is I don't need an ultralight with this. This has a very soft tip. Now, I will show you some other rods later that have some really good tips on this, and they're very similar to this. But I've caught some pretty small panfish with this. Perch is all we really have here for panfish. But it has a very good action on it, and that's what you're gonna want. If you're looking for something with a little bit of backbone for those bigger trout, but at the same time can finesse those smaller fish for those little bites, this is a very good rod to go with. I picked it up last year and I use it a lot, especially for trout. It works well on a jaw jacker. It has a good backbone on it. As you can see, when it loads up, it's got it'll load up here, but it has enough fish that if you need to horse it, you can horse the fish, provided you're not going to break your leader. So that's one of the first rods I like to use. Now, the other one that I use that I picked up this year and I've really been enjoying for bigger trout is the Fenwick 36-inch medium light Techna. Now, you can see with this rod that it doesn't quite have as much of a light tip on the end. It's still not bad. Like, you would be able to catch big perch with it. Actually, in fact, I was last weekend. But it's really good. I have it set up for whitefish right now because it is, like you can see this rod, it loads way up. Like, it bends back into here, which is really nice for keeping those big trout pinned when you need to horse them. Trout, or I mean, you could get walleye with this, no problem too. Like, I would confidently fish with walleye with this rod as well. So this would be a bit of a double whammy. And I have it paired with a Aria Black 1000 series reel, which is really nice actually. This was you can get both of these up at Hooked Up fishing gear if you're interested. They I really like this reel. It comes in at like $24, $25. It's a very, very well priced reel, and it works really well. I really enjoy it. Decent, got a nice drag on it, which I like something that's not too clicky but has a nice click to it and can stand up. So far it's been standing up pretty good. The one thing I did forget to mention with this is so on my Shimano, last year I picked up a inline reel. This is a Fluger President, and very well of a reel. I really like it. However, it always seems like at the beginning of the season, I really hate it because I have to remember how to use it properly. Because I don't use them that too much. But this one's nice, so it's best paired with tungsten jigs or something a little bit heavier. I have chronomids on it right now, more or less because I was fishing trout with it, and I usually fish chronomids, blobs, skirming worms for trout, at least stock trout anyway. And so it doesn't usually have a lot of weight. You could put a weight on here which would help it drop, and you can set right here, you can set the speed on which it drops, but this thing will reel them up very fast. It also works great for the tungsten jigs for when you're fishing perch. So far, I'm not sure. We'll see. This is the second season using one, but so far I would have to say I prefer a spinning reel over an inline, but it is a good reel. I do like it. I can't say too many bad things about it other than the fact that the only bad thing I can say about these is if they don't drop fast enough, or if the speed on the reel is set too fast, it will get spooled up on the inside, and it's so annoying. I've lost fish with it. But anyway, as for medium lights, that's what I use right now. That's what's in my rod box, or my rod bag, for trout and panfish. So next up would be your mediums. So your mediums are, on a general note, they're going to be for your walleye, your pike, burbot, whitefish too. The big whitefish will give these rods a run for their money, but they generally work quite well for pike, walleye, burbot on your average size to your bigger size walleye as well, even big pike. So first rod that I like that I'll go with today is going to be another Fenwick. I actually have all of them right now. Actually, the only Fenwick I don't have is the light, ultralight, which maybe I'll pick it up next year, but I don't do a whole ton of pan fishing out here, so I don't really have a whole lot of use for it. But what I've been really enjoying, I am using the 42-inch Elite Tech medium Fenwick. This is, I would say this is more of a fast action rod. I have paired with a Revelos, if I'm saying that properly, a Daiwa Revelos. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyway, you can school me on it later. I got this one. I bought this off a buddy there this year. Thanks, Broden. Great reel. I really like the reel. It's a solid reel. Great for walleye, great for running pike. Probably will handle our smaller lake trout that we have here in Alberta. Maybe not so much the bigger ones, but I think, the lake trout would give this rod a real run for its money, that's for sure. But I like, for pike, I was catching pike, walleye, burbot on it this year so far. Yet last weekend I was out and I was actually using it for perch, and surprisingly it had a decent action. It's a little overpowered for perch, but I was catching like 10-inch perch, 10 to 12s, So it handled, like, it wasn't too bad. I don't feel it was like super overpowered for what I was doing, but not necessarily what you would want for perch. The medium lights would actually give you a lot funner action than this one will. You're just gonna launch it out of the hole, basically skyrocket that sucker. But I really like this rod. It's one of my favorites that I have, and not to mention the color, it's very pretty, but I really like this rod. Solid unit, can't say enough good things about it. It's a really good add to my boat. I bought this last year and used it a little bit at the end of the season, and been using it quite a bit this season. It's probably my first go-to for the most part. New rod in my series that I'm using currently would be this 13 infrared medium. Now this one, I don't know if I have this paired, I have this paired with a 3000 series Sienna Shimano. It was a reel that I got. Once again, I bought it off a buddy. Thanks, Broden. But it's, I like it. It's also red, and it's also red, so my OCD feels great right now. But I don't like, it says it's a medium rod, but I kinda, like, it's got some backbone, man. It bends right into the back too, which I really like that. I don't like it too much when the rods, like, if you notice my Shimano conversions, it stops a little bit more here, but then kind of starts to bend. But I really like when the rods have that solid, like, it bends right into the back of the rod. I like that. It helps a lot with keeping those bigger fish pinned. But so far, I like this rod. It's this thing comes in at about $40, but it's not too bad. We'll talk price after. I just want to show you the rods that I'm using and kind of size for species of fish that you would generally go for. So once again, medium, I'm generally going for walleye, pike, and average to slightly large pike and big burbot. It'll handle them quite well. That's what I like to go for mediums. When you're using medium heavies, on a general note, you're going to be going after big lake trout, big pike, maybe big burbots. I haven't really caught a massive burbot, but I know those 30-inch burbot, they'll put a medium to work for sure. But I haven't had too much trouble horsing one with a medium. But who knows? If you've caught a big enough burbot, throw a comment down below. First up in our line that I have, this is new to me, is a 42-inch medium heavy Fenwick Techna. This thing is nice. It has, this one once again has got a nice bit of bend to it and kind of comes right back here, help keeping those fish pinned. The reel I have paired with this, I made a mistake when I bought it, but it actually isn't too bad of a reel. I don't mind it too much. I bought it thinking it was a Daiwa, and it wasn't. So it's a Daiwa. So dumb mistake on my part, but all in all, it's been an okay reel. I'll probably upgrade it next year, but I can't say too many bad things about it. The cool thing about this one is it kind of clips down like this, and it has a wooden handle, which I kind of like. But this one's nice because it folds into my rod case without too much trouble. Now, haven't caught any fish on this yet, but hoping to in the very near future here. This here is, I've caught some fish on it, and this is a very good rod for a very solid price point. This is a 42-inch Quantum medium heavy, and I have this paired with a favorite reel 2000 series. I really like this reel, and I really like this rod. For my medium heavy so far, this is currently my favorite. I haven't used this too much, And the reel's really, I gotta upgrade that reel. But this one I've been using for big pike. As you can see, I have a Predator rig on it already with a 25-pound fluoro line on it. But this is a solid rod, and it is very much worth your time and money to get one. Price point. These rods are none of these rods are super expensive. They are all less than $100. Not to say you can get something cheaper than that, but so the Fenwicks, they all run at about 80 bucks. You can pick these up at Hooked Up Fishing Gear. They stock them readily, and they actually have a very good selection other than just these. But if you're looking at trying one of these, that is where you can get them, or wherever your nearest store is. Look them up. So the Fenwicks, they all run at about 80 bucks. The other ones that I have here, they are slightly better priced on the point, and they will deliver quite well. This, I think, came on at about, I'll put it up, but if I recall off the top of my head, this rod came in at about 50 bucks. This was the Shimano Convergence, medium light action. This here, the 13 fishing medium, for the 40-inch medium. Wow, my words aren't working here right now. This is the 13 fishing infrared 40-inch medium. This comes in at about 48 bucks Canadian. I really like it, and I think it's worth 48 bucks. This is the Quantum. This is 40 bucks. No, sorry, this is $50. It might be more, but when I bought it, it was 50 bucks. It might be a little bit more now. But even still, if it was $50 or $60, it's very much worth it. Hands down, I would very much say it is. The 42-inch medium heavy Fenwick Techna, I can't really say if I really think it's worth $80 or not yet, but it is a very nice rod. I like it, and we will see by the end of the season. Coming up the next month here, I'll be going after bigger fish with it, so we'll find out. But still, from my experience with these two rods here, these are both Fenwicks, and I love them. So that is why I went with that rod, because so far I really like them. I feel like for an $80 rod, they perform quite well, and you get a lot of value for what you're getting for. Why do I have all these reels? Why don't I just buy combos? Well, that's what I started off with, was combos. As you can see right here, these are all the rods that I started off with. So these are all like combo style rods. This is an ugly stick. This is a great little trout rod, works awesome, and it's great for panfish. This is a whooping stick, 32-inch medium, great for walleye, decent sized pike. This here is a Berkeley, this is a Zebco Rhino Tough Ice. This actually can take some rather large pike. It's got a lot of backbone to it. Reel would be okay for pike. Lake trout, maybe not. You might need a bigger reel on it, but this was a combo. I'm pretty sure this was a combo. Great. Perfect. Sniper, ice rod, clam. Love this thing. Great trout rod. Probably one of my favorite trout rods for like medium sized trout that I had until I bought my Convergence. And this is actually my kids, but actually it's a pretty good rod. This is a 13 fishing. It's a Ambition, and it's a 26 light. It's a great little rod, great for perch, small trout. It works quite well. All of those rods come in at like anywhere between $30 and $50 combos, which if you're just starting out, they are perfect for. But if you get to the point where you're looking to upgrade and you kind of want to go to a thing where you get to choose your rod and choose your reel, then this is a great option for you. You can go the other options. There would be Two Brothers have very nice rods, and Frostbite has some very solid rods that work with jaw jackers and all sorts of things. Which one of these rods works with jaw jackers? Probably what you might be wondering. So my Shimano Convergence, the 32 works great with the jaw jacker. This 36 is about the limit I find with these rods for the jaw jacker. This 40 will not work with the jaw jacker, but I do have the it's another jaw jacker. It's the Celsius. Sorry. The Celsius jaw jacker works with 42-inch rods. As you can see right here, I have a little tag end on there so I can put it in the jaw jacker, which is really cool. So if you do buy a 42-inch rod, get the Celsius jaw jacker. It does work good, and it works with longer rods, no problem, and it doesn't load them too much. So I guess the last question is, why go with a rod and choose your reel? I don't know, personal choice, I guess. I like it because I get to choose my rods, my reels for what I'm using for different species, stuff like that. These are for lake trout. With lake trout, you're going to want something with like a 2500 series or a 2000 kind of series, because you want something with lots of line, because some of those big lake trout will spool you. Even big pike. For walleye, trout, probably even burbot, your 1000 series that come with most of your ice rod combos will be more than sufficient. But I like it because I get to choose the rod, and I've been getting, once I found I got a little more serious in ice fishing, I want to have a nice rod. I like these rods. I really enjoy fishing with these rods. Sometimes you get a combo, you might not like the reel. You might like the reel, you might not like the rod. But it works, and it's definitely a great option to go to, probably the cheaper option. But if you start getting into wanting to go a little more crazy, or not crazy, but a little more fancy, just upgrade one rod at a time. What I did last year, throughout the season, I upgraded one medium light, one medium, and one medium heavy last year. I did the same thing this year. So throughout so many paychecks, that's just how I did it. This was more to tell you about what you're going to use. So for medium light, you're going to go for your trout, your panfish, even probably small walleye, stuff like that. When you get into walleye, pike, your average size burbot, you're going to want about a medium. Something you can, now it's funny because not all mediums get made the same, which is kind of crazy, I guess. You can have a fast action, you can have a stiffer one. As you can see, this 13 fishing one, this is a medium, but it actually feels more like a heavy than a medium. This is a medium, and you can see right there, it's got a good tip, so it's got a fast action light tip on it, which means you can really feel those very finicky bites when you're fishing for walleye, or even burbot, because sometimes with burbot, all you feel is a little thump, and then set the hook, right? And then your medium heavy will be for your large large pike, and big lake trout. I hope this helps you, and thank you for stopping by for today's Tidbit Tuesday. It's not exactly a short one, but I felt like to go through these rods that I have and kind of my process of what I like to use them for. Maybe you might not completely agree with me, but hopefully it gives you something to go off of. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next Tidbit Tuesday. Ciao.